What's the first word that comes into your mind when I say the word budget or the word budgeting? Just one word.
A budget? Oh no. One word: restrictive, sacrifice, controlling, stressful. But one word isn't nearly enough to describe what I feel about that.
Okay, then tell me what you're thinking.
Listen, I work hard and I deserve to spend my money when and how I want. A budget would restrict me from doing that. It means like giving things up that I want to do, like maybe going skiing or maybe taking a trip so I can go sit on, enjoy a beach. I'm not really interested in watching some video telling me how I should be spending my money.
Well, that's understandable. It's your money. You can do what you want with it. But what do you think when I tell you that budgeting has nothing to do with giving anything up? It's just an intentional approach to planning when and how you want to spend your money, and in a way that will get you the most lifetime benefit. It's all about you intentionally deciding on how best to spend your money.
What?
Hi, I'm Harry Starn, and welcome to another Starn Standard Practical Knowledge video. In this recording, you'll learn about the benefits of cash flow planning, supportive mindsets that will help you implement and persist in taking control of your money, the steps in the strategic financial planning process, and the positive feedback obtained when you analyze actual spending versus what you had planned. Awareness of these issues will empower you in making informed financial decisions, and the persistent application of the knowledge will lead you to greater financial stability and well-being. Okay, let's get started. Several years ago, I attended a national conference in which the speaker, an experienced financial planning professional, shared that she never uses the word budget or budgeting in conversations with her clients. Many of her clients would shut down. The pushback you heard at the beginning of this video was replayed over and over again in her office. The workshop speaker shared that rather than using the word budget, she would use the phrase spending and savings plan. That changed the entire tone of the conversation, when in fact the concept of budgeting and cash and spending plan are the same thing. The difference is in the interpretation, restrictive versus proactively taking control of your money and deciding how you want to use it. Winston Churchill is quoted as saying, "Plans are of little importance, but planning is essential." Now, the way I heard it was a little different. I heard, "I never saw a plan worth a darn, but the planning process was absolutely invaluable." What that meant to me was that the actual outcomes really matched the plan's projections. But when you seriously think about the situation, you consider the alternatives, and you make informed decisions, it changes everything. The strategic planning process leads to better outcomes over time, realizing that there's going to be variances along the way. So, what might motivate a person to get started? I believe the key motivators for committing to the budgeting process, implementing your plan, and persevering with it comes down to this: discovering your why. What's in it for you? What benefits will you reap when you intentionally take time to create your spending and savings plan? Finding your why is the foundation that will help you move beyond procrastination and keep you committed to the process. There are several benefits associated with creating your unique spending and savings plan, including better financial awareness about your sources and use of capital, promoting self-empowerment. You are proactively taking control of your money and making informed decisions about how you want to use it. When you take control of the money, it will typically help reduce stress because you have control. You're not a victim. Improved goal attainment. You are making decisions that better position you for reaching your goals. Perhaps you've heard the adage, where attention goes, energy flows. When you begin to proactively think about how you want to use your cash flows to reach your spending goals and objectives, you start to make more informed decisions. Your energy starts to flow. There are several steps in the strategic budgeting process. The starting point is to estimate your income for the incoming year or the period. That sets the bar because you can't consistently draw down your emergency funds or your savings to fund spending. Given you have a projected income frame, the second step is to identify realistic goals and goal priorities. Now that you know what it is you want to accomplish, you need to determine your spending needs, wants, and saving objectives. Determining the spending begins by reviewing your spending in that last period and determining where your future spending might be adjusted. You will be looking at 4 categories of expenses. Fixed expenses, which remain basically the same. Variable expenses, which are close to the same, although you can tweak that amount some. Discretionary expenses, which are completely under your control, and taxes, where hopefully you apply some of the tax minimization tactics explained in my other videos. Consider the budget planning example displayed here. Last year's cash flow data appears on the left-hand side of the table, while the projections for income and expenses are shown on the right-hand side. In this example, income is expected to slightly increase. The fixed expenses are the same. The variable fixed expenses are not that much different, often reflecting projected inflationary expenses increases. The discretionary expenses reflect personal decisions about spending and saving. FICA withholdings are a fixed percentage of income, and the federal and state income taxes are slightly reduced in this example. Once you review your draft budget and make the appropriate adjustments, now you're ready to implement. You can put into action your spending and savings plan. After implementation, you monitor your actual cash inflows and outflows, attempting to keep on pace with your targeted plan. At the end of the year or the end of the period, you want to analyze the results. Where did your actual income and spending match, exceed, or fall below your targeted income and spending? The process of analyzing the income is referred to as variance analysis. Variance analysis offers an opportunity for reflection on the causes of the differences. Was the cause of the difference related to an unexpected life event, an incorrect assumption, or some unanticipated expense, like an auto repair or a medical expense? If that was the case, then I really wouldn't worry about it, other than maybe building a little bit more flexibility in the next budget or raising the level of emergency funds on hand. But often the case is behavioral. For example, you plan to spend $5,000 on a vacation travel, but you decided to take an expended trip overseas costing $12,000. You plan to spend $30,000 on a new car, but spent $45,000. The purpose of budgeting is not to beat yourself up on the variances. Budgeting is not an exact science. It was never intended to be down to the penny. Rather, it's a process that promotes intentional spending over time that moves you towards your goals. As you reflect on any behavioral variances, ask yourself questions. Would I make the same decision today if faced with that same situation? What would I have done differently? Questions lead to answers, and the process of sitting back and thinking about your spending decisions will offer valuable insights that will inform future choices. Well, let's revisit that conversation from the beginning of the video. You heard that other guy express the sentiment that budgeting is restrictive, and by extension means giving up activities that would make him happy and that he feels he deserves. That ends up being a self-sabotaging mindset. I hope after viewing the video, you embrace the idea that you give nothing up when you intentionally create your spending and savings plan. You're just making more informed decisions regarding the sources and uses of your cash flow. Taking proactive control of your money is enabling, and that is a supportive mindset. In this video, you learned about the benefits of creating a spending and savings plan. Supportive mindsets, including discovering your why, understanding you're not giving anything up, and realizing that budgeting is not an exact science. The 7 steps in the strategic budgeting process, and the positive feedback provided with variance analysis. When you apply this knowledge, you gain confidence in your ability to take control of your money, and you move yourself towards greater financial stability. Well, thank you for watching this STARN Standard Practical Knowledge video. I invite you to watch other videos that I've posted about cash management or other pieces of the personal financial planning puzzle. If you found the video content useful, then please tap the like button. Click on the bell for future notifications and consider subscribing to the STARN Standard channel. Goodbye for now, and hope to see you in a future video.